Hello and welcome to Spill the Mystic Tea, where we talk about all the things the spiritual world often doesn't always say out loud. And I'm Kerry Waring. You know, this week I was guided to make a crystal feather wand. It's not something I have ever done before. I don't really identify as a pagan or witch. I'm much more shamanic in how I relate to spirit and how often spirit wants to express itself through me. But this was something new. I had been gifted the wand, or not the wand, sorry, the feather, and then really sort of thought, you know what, I'm going to sit down and just hold the feather and allow it to impress upon me what was needed, or why had I received the gift and what was to come of it. And in that first impression, that's when I knew that it needed to become a crystal wand. So I just got out some of my crystals and pulled it together. And I think for a first try, it's a pretty good go, to be honest. But, you know, one of the things that it reminded me of is that sometimes guidance isn't about what we're doing. It's honestly about who we're becoming, because not all intuitive nudges are strategic. You know, we often expect that when we receive guidance, it follows like guidance, action, result, right? And then when that doesn't happen, we're left doubting, we're left questioning. And the reality is that it's often guidance, expansion, confusion, integration before we then see a result, you know, and often we just don't realize that that is the pathway. And this wand is really, for me, a symbol of what it's activating in me, because after I made it, I knew that the next day, sorry, just got my tea. Once it was complete, I knew the next day I then had to sit and hold it again. And what was it speaking to me of in that instance? And truly, it felt more like a talking stick than it felt like a crystal wand. It's not a wand that I'm going to use for crystal healing or any of the healings that I do or recalibrations that I do. It's not a smudge stick. It's not going to be used for that. It's more, I hold it and I feel a strength come through, an activation of being able to put myself out there and really calling in the visibility that I'm looking for in my work and my life. You know, and across cultures, talking sticks represent truth, voice, presence, and it's been created with a felt sense of guided to express myself differently in that way. So it really is about what it's activating in me, not necessarily about the object itself, right? You know, what I did for as I was going through all this process, I really did go, okay, how is this linking to the point that I'm focused on growing financial wealth, and the fact that growing money in my business is where I'm focused right now. I was like going, okay, how does this sitting down, taking time to create this wand and whatnot, how does it flow into that goal? And I guess that really didn't come into it until I understand the connection to expressing myself and to speaking up more and being more forthright about my knowledge and about more of who I am. And I guess one of the beautiful things about a recent identity shift that I've been through, which I guess creating this wand is a reflection of, is that, manifestation can often be a passive kind of pathway to creating what you want. It really is, asking, waiting, hoping, working with your vision board, not realizing how much self trust you actually need in that process. Whereas co creation and hands on creativity really moves you into partnership with spirit and partnership in your creative abilities, because it will activate within the soul what is needed, and it's that energy that then is calling forth from the universe, calling forth into your space what is needed to support your desires, what is needed to support your requests, I hear. So, a symbolic creation such as this really anchors in the spirituality and grounds it into the physical world. I knew as I was making this, it wasn't something that I was giving to anyone else. It wasn't something I was going to sell as a product. Being it's the first one I've ever created, I knew it was a gift that I needed to hold. And I guess going through that process and learning has really sort of shown me it's about that activation. It's reminded me that guidance doesn't always arrive in logical form. It's not always through intuition, it's not always through visions or channeling. Sometimes it is a creative impulse that we need to lean into. And I urge you to lean into more and more of those, even if they don't make sense, I guess, especially when they don't make sense. Sometimes it's an invitation that lies in to become someone new. And maybe it's not about allowing yourself to be, maybe it is about allowing yourself to become who your soul already knows. Maybe it's about allowing yourself to become who your soul already knows you to be. If this is the kind of deep dive that you would like to experience in your relationship with spirit and your co creative abilities with the universe, then this is the work that we do in my SKOOL community. It's called the Sacred and Sassy Collective. There is a forever free option that I invite you to join us, and you'll find the link below.